Hello everybody, what's going on? Force here. Today I just wanted to do a simple little video, nothing too fancy's going on. I just kind of wanted to talk a little bit about Sombra. She's a hero that still, for a lot of people, feels a little underwhelming. Now, Jeff Kaplan came out not too long ago and basically said that Sombra they still feel is really powerful, but people, even to this day, months after her being released, still aren't playing her correctly. If we're thinking, well, what is everyone doing wrong? When I think about Sombra, I see a lot of people running around, hacking health packs, maybe trying to get a hack off on a Reinhardt so he drops his shield, and just poking, doing some damage, harassing a little bit on the back line, trying to build up her ultimate so that you could have this big engagement and hopefully wipe the enemy team. That's my perception of Sombra. Now, based on the recent buffs to her, we assume that Blizzard really wants us to focus on the hacking. They've reduced the cast time and they've reduced the cooldown. So obviously the idea is they want us to be hacking often and they want to make it easier, because a big complaint for Sombra has been the fact that really the only reliable thing you could hack is health packs, because remember, any damage that you take in the moment of casting hack will interrupt it and force it to restart, and that's a huge problem unless you like surprise someone and sneak up behind them in a 1v1 situation. If there's ever any other teammates around, there's a good chance that the hack is going to be stopped. So the buffs came through. Is it enough? Has it changed Sombra enough? Has it made her hacking better, more reliable, so that people are doing it more often? They're hacking Reinhardts more often. They're hacking, I don't know, Pharah to stop her from jump jetting away, whatever. It's a tough call. I still haven't seen a lot of Sombras in my game. And there's many people out there who argue that while this is a step in the right direction, it's not enough. And I don't think anyone, especially myself, is calling for these widespread buffs. You know, Jeff said in that same conversation where he said that people aren't playing Sombra right, he said that they're not going to focus on her damage because that's really not her role. In fact, if anything, they could argue for placing her in the support role category. Although I feel like they probably won't do that because as it is, they get enough shit for having Symmetra in support role being the only support character that doesn't heal, but that's another conversation for another day. So clearly, they don't see Sombra as really an assassin. So when it comes to things like increasing her weapon damage or decreasing her spread, both which would be tools to make her more lethal, it looks like Blizzard's not even considering that. They're more focused on the utility. But one of the major problems with Sombra, I think, and something that I would like to see them address that I think would not make her more of an assassin, but make her feel better and help her be better at harassing and at that supporting role, is making some quality of life changes. And one of the biggest things that I brought up even when I first played Sombra back at BlizzCon was her stealth delay. It is so incredibly obnoxious. There is, I want to say it's about a second, maybe a half a second to a second delay when entering stealth, but even more frustrating is the delay when exiting stealth. They don't have to increase her damage, they don't have to reduce her spread, but she would feel and play so much better if as soon as you started firing from stealth, you immediately started firing. Because right now what happens is if you're in stealth and you hit down the fire button, there is that half a second delay when you're leaving stealth, coupled with Sombra shouting, "Hey everybody, I'm over here!" And those two things give the opponents enough time to basically turn around to face you before you've even fired a shot. At the very least, if she's gonna have damage on the lower end compared to a lot of the other attacking offensive heroes, she should have something to compensate for that. Again, I'm not trying to make her assassin, we're just trying to make her feel a little bit better to play. And these hack changes that Blizzard made, they're a step in the right direction. They make her feel better to play. They allow you to hack more often and make it much more likely that you can land a hack on an opposing player. But that stealth delay, I think that is a real big problem. And I think something else that we could talk about, going back to the hack conversation, is that hacks, it feels a little inconsistent. Once you played Sombra a lot, you start to learn what hack does and doesn't affect, but it's kind of confusing because the premise of the ability is that it should be disabling anything but basic attacks from your opponents. But it doesn't really work that way because some skills and some ultimates won't be disabled. Or something that I think they should definitely consider changing is it disabling ultimates that are in mid-use. So for example, with like a Soldier 76, if you hack him in the middle of his ultimate, he can still keep using his ultimate, but he's hacked. Shouldn't it be disabled? These small little tweaks and changes I think would go a long way for Sombra. And that's not even talking about some of the bugs that happen with Sombra, like people dying after they teleport, although maybe this is just a favoring the shooter situation where you're in a firefight and right before you think you're gonna die, you teleport, but on the attacking player's side, they shot and killed you before you teleported, so you end up dying after the teleportation has taken place. There's also been some weird situations with the translocator. It doesn't always feel super consistent in terms of where you land and while it's mid-throw. If you toss it out in the air and then you reactivate it, you don't always land in the position where you expect to. It's a little bit wonky. So there are some things that I think Blizzard could do to make her better. Now, I am just speaking from my own experience in the games that I've played. It still feels like even with these hack changes that came through in the last patch, it's still not enough. Sombra is still feeling a little underpowered, and there's still a pretty volatile response from the community whenever a Sombra is picked, especially in competitive. Quick play, you know, play whatever you feel like, but in competitive, people still aren't loving Sombra in the games that I've played. What about you guys? How do you feel about Sombra right now? What changes do you think Blizzard could make to make her better and put her in a stronger position? But I think most importantly, make her more fun to play. She's got a great kit, but because of some of the things we've discussed here and even in prior videos, she feels a little clunky. It doesn't feel that smooth and great to play all the time. Really, the biggest culprit for me is the stealth delay. I really feel like if Blizzard addresses that, it would go a long way to making Sombra feel better as a hero. So, all right, everybody, that is going to do it for me here today. As always, I want to thank you all so much for watching. Please be sure to let me know what you think in the comment sections below. Love to hear your thoughts and opinions on the matter. Hope you all have a good afternoon, and until next time, I'll see you later.